Whether it is fornication, it's adultery, it's lying, it's stealing, it's murder, whatever the nature of sin, in love we should correct people and continuously admonish them.
And even talking about abuse, even some pastors abuse their wives.
I think it is high time we begin to teach them that it isn't just about this woman is beautiful, this man is fine, so that you can point to people, this is my husband.
Exactly.
It takes a lot to be in marriage.
Oral sex has a lot of implications, health implications, and one of it is the fact that it is one of the easiest way for the transmission of sexually transmitted diseases.
Trying to get something from somewhere you don't like, you will chop their money, and that money you eat fufu with it can block your womb. There is a woman who is praying, but most of these young girls don't know that they are lying.
You see, so most married men go out there and lie to innocent girls.
That who told you are innocent? These hypocritic girls.
Some of the girls are innocent. Because I know some girls who will tell you that if you are married, forget.
All hope was gone, hard to hang on.
This is the moment to join hundreds of families praying to make their relationships, marriages, and homes better through divine grace. Join Weekend Review with Dollarich on GTV Live in redeeming the family glory.
Under an atmosphere of worship and prayer, GTV Live, your religion and culture channel, invites you to come intercede, rebuild, and to restore the family glory.
The venue is
Life International Church, Calvary Chapel, opposite Matayeko MS Police Station, Tama, Akenya Road, with Reverend Solomon Latte.
the date,
Sunday, 11 September 2016.
the time,
8 a.m. sharp.
the theme,
Breaking the limitations.
Precious One. Evangelist Johnny Cole Dollarich of Weekend Review Show on GTV Live believes you can redeem the family glory through relentless prayer.
Now in Jesus' name, my family will not break. My family will not break. Marriage will not break. Marriage will not break. My family will stand. My family will stand. My children will go well.
That takes a soldier's heart.
Hello, precious viewers. Wow, what a beautiful day we have with us today. And you know the program is Weekend Review with me, Johnny Cole Dollarich. Let me remind you of our core mandate again. We say we are bringing the family together, reshaping society for tomorrow's generations. Yes, we do believe in the next generations. Now, we want to do our topic of the week, but as usual, we'll go for a quick break. But before that, Seth Brian Hooper, or Kwesi Hooper, if you are watching the program and you know him in person, please, you can pick any of the numbers or up screen and then give it to him to call me. Seth Hooper, formerly of Accra High School and IPS, that's Institute of Professional Studies, now University of Professional Studies. So if you have any contact of him, please just link him up with me. Thank you so much. We'll go for this quick break. We'll be right back.
All hope was gone, hard to hang on.
This is the moment to join hundreds of families praying to make their relationships, marriages, and homes better through divine grace. Join Weekend Review with Dollarich on GTV Live in redeeming the family glory.
Under an atmosphere of worship and prayer, GTV Live, your religion and culture channel, invites you to come intercede, rebuild, and to restore the family glory.
The venue is
Life International Church, Calvary Chapel, opposite Matayeko MS Police Station, Tama, Akenya Road, with Reverend Solomon Latte.
the date,
Sunday, 11 September 2016.
the time,
8 a.m. sharp.
the theme,
Breaking the limitations.
Precious One. Evangelist Johnny Cole Dollarich of Weekend Review Show on GTV Live believes you can redeem the family glory through relentless prayer.
Now in Jesus' name, my family will not break. My family will not break. Marriage will not break. Marriage will not break. My family will stand. My family will stand. My children will go well.
That takes a soldier's heart.
You're welcome back. The program still continues, and it is the weekend review show right here on GTV Live with me, Johnny Cole Dollarich. I have these beautiful personalities with me to do the show with me, and we want to treat the topic choosing or making academic choices. That is where, your parents want you to do this, and you also have your choice of preference. You want to do this, you want to have this profession and all that. Sometimes there are controversies. There are times that loggerheads, parents are struggling with children, and children don't seem to understand parents by their choices. But we want to look at it and how best God can help us resolve this issue. And then I have on my immediate left this beautiful woman. She will tell us who she is and where she's coming from. You're welcome, Mama Ifia.
Thank you very much.
Okay, my viewers would like to know more of you.
My name is Mrs. Dorothy Asamoah Akosa. I'm a teacher and a youth coach.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's been a while.
Yes.
How is the family?
The family is good.
I can see.
By His grace.
I can see. You're welcome once again.
Thank
and
you.
Then on my far left is this handsome gentleman, and he will tell us who he is and where he's coming from. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
And
I'm Charles Oredu. I'm the president of Yeshua Institute of Technology, a private university.
You're welcome once again.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
How's the family?
So everybody is fine by God's grace.
I see. Viewers, we are treating making academic choices and the kind of halabaloo, loggerheads. Parents want to go this way, children also want to go this way, and we will see how best we will handle it. But let me quickly go to Mama Ifia. Let's look at it. If your son or your daughter, that's from JSS or JHS, SHS, university, the child want to do this, you also want the child to do this. How best can we handle it from the beginning?
It's not easy, but with God, all things are possible.
I like that.
Impossibilities can become possible with God. Now, this is what you should do. As a parent, you are the director of affairs in the house, as far as your children are concerned, and then your wife is concerned. But you also have a director who is God. So you need to give everything to God to direct the affairs of your house through you. So because God is the director of affairs, He directs our path. Whatever we do, it is He who do it for us to our best interest, not to your best interest. If you think you are doing what is good for yourself, it is not you who is doing it. It is God who can direct your path to the successful end. So to do that is best done when you give God the chance to do it through you. And this is done through prayers and proper counseling from those who are very good as far as academic choices are concerned. We have guidance and counseling coordinators at every district, education district. So with your prayers and with guidance and counseling from these people, they are the professionals that can help you very, very well. In life, we take risks. But when you want to take risks and you are not responsible for the risk, you will land very bad. But if you are responsible in taking the risk, you will land very well. Because everything you do, at least you have something, a little knowledge about what you do, then you do it. But if you don't have anything, any knowledge at all about what you do, you take the risk and it will land you very bad. So I will entreat all parents to use these people. They are there plenty at all the district education offices. They are there to guide parents as to how to select subjects and then careers for their children. and it will go on very well.
You are really talking like a life coach indeed. I'll come back to you. And the program still continues, and it is the Weekend Review Show. We have our WhatsApp line up screen and our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. Just get connected with us and let's do the show together. You can give us a call after the show, and if you have anything to share with us, we'll be glad to talk to you. And I'll go to Dr. Oredu, and let's see. Dr. Oredu,
yeah.
I know this is an area of challenge. I mean, for those of you who are in the academic, I mean, having all these schools and all that. But let's look at it. If being a parent and your child has a choice and you also have a preference, I mean, looking at your child, where he's coming from, or maybe the family traits, you know, we are doctors, we are all in the medical field. I want my son to go to the medical school, but he feels he wants to be a musician. How do you handle that from the start as a parent?
You see, the truth is that there is an age of accountability. There is a point at which the decision can be that of the parent, right? When a child is growing up, maybe a child is 5 or 6 today, in Ghana, you ask the child, what is it you want to do in future? As if the child can actually make the decisions, or the child is able to actually look into himself or herself and discover what he can do. But when you ask the children, normally what they say is they want to be a doctor, or I want to be a nurse. You hear somebody saying, I want to be a soldier, or I want to be a pilot. Somebody once said, I want to be a delegate, whatever that means. Yes. But just hear a little child say, I want to be a farmer, and the parent is angry. You don't say that. Why do you say you want to be a farmer? It is that mentality that has destroyed our country. That's right. You see, because parents are not thinking well for their children. There is a time in the life of the child when you think for the child, right? But parents are not thinking well for the child. So they have actually compartmentalized some kinds of different professions. And they say this one is a cheap profession. This one is a prestigious profession. And so you go this line. And so as children grow up and they go to the primary school, from the primary school they go to the junior high school, that is when they are matured enough to begin thinking about what they want to do, because they might have dropped so many of the things that have been suggested to them. And they look at their strengths and the weaknesses. I want to do arts, I want to do science, and so on. That is where the initial choices come in. And parents begin to insist, this is what I feel I wanted to do in life. I couldn't do it, so you do it. You see, they don't tell them. They don't normally tell their kids, "Do this for me," because that's what I wanted to do. Or like you said earlier, we are a family of doctors, so you have to also go into medicine. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You see, so I think that we must leave the choices to the children, about 50% or 60% of the choices of children, as they grow up. I mean, when they get to the high school, you can leave about 80% of them to them. That is where the counselors also come in. The most important thing that we have to understand is the meaning of education.
That's right.
What is the meaning of education, the actual meaning of education? Education comes from the Latin word educare, that actually means to lead out, to bring out. So there is something in the individual that must come out in order that the individual will be fulfilled when the individual follows it.
That's right.
But our education in this country and in many other places in the world is not right, because we are not actually doing education. We are putting together some ideas that have been packaged in books and then pushing them down the minds and throats of people. Wow. And then when they have crammed everything, we want them to reproduce that on paper and so on. And when the method of assessment is also not very accurate, right? So we say this is one way, this is how everybody must be assessed. I mean, chew everything, can pour it on an examination paper, and then we will determine whether you are brilliant or you are not brilliant, whether you are smart or you are not smart. So in the end, We have people not being able to have the opportunity to bring the best out of them. But what we have to actually have to do is, every teacher who stands in front of children or pupils or students in class must first ask before the class starts, what is it that is in this child that this lesson I'm going to teach is supposed to bring out?
That's right.
Right. So if there is somebody called Kofi in class, you imagine Kofi in your mind as a lecturer or a teacher and say, Kofi, there is something in you. Let the world have it. This is our topic today. I'm going to use this topic to interact with whatever is inside you and bring it. Application of knowledge so that the student can bring the best out of the student. In that case, we can have students, thinking about what is their strengths, and then use our education to bring the best out of them. You didn't have any problem with the children or the students, therefore finding it very difficult making choices because they know I am good I have a flair for languages, I'm good in math, or I'm good in science, so let me follow that.
The show still continues, and it is the weekend review show with me, Johnny called Dollarich. Now, as I said earlier, we have our WhatsApp line up screen and our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. Just get connected to us. If for those of you who do not know, Dr. Redu is the writer of or the author of What the Ant Saw.
Yeah, a book.
Yeah, it's a book. Yeah, What the Ant Saw, and I think it's a must. You all have to have one. How best can we get one if we want?
Oh yeah, you can call 0208 07 08 09.
Okay,
and I'll deliver it.
Yeah,
because
number again.
It doesn't stay in the shops for long.
I know.
0208 07 08 09.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I said this because you know, it is full of wisdom to know how the ant gathered all these things. I mean, the seasons and times. I mean, in relation to making academic choices, for that, there are one or two things you have to observe in order to be able to get to the right path. If you have to even make academic choices, whether for your child or your child even making it for himself, and that is the more reason why I asked for the book. But let's look at it, Mama Fia. One, you are talking about coaches, people who can give you guidance, I mean, on the educational sector, and but you see, it's quite rare. You hardly you know, find parents getting involved, or these people being accessible for people to get to them, you know, because all parents think about is just go and pay the school fees and let the child be there, whether it is science, maths, or whatever he or she is going to learn, and at the end of the day, but you are in the education field, so how best can parents come out to be able to have this interaction with these coaches in order to make right choices?
Yes, that's why by way of this program I have said it, because through this many parents will get to know that we have people who are there to help parents as far as choosing subjects and a career is concerned. Now, you can see these people through the teachers of your child. If you get to the school where your child is schooling, the teachers can direct you to the person. Even they can even call the person to the school, and then the guidance and counsel coordinator will come to the school to help you as far as your child is concerned. Because some of the parents don't have money, even money to travel to the district education office. And some of the schools too have the guidance and counseling coordinator in the schools. Most of the cluster schools have guidance and counseling coordinators. So when you get to the school, you just tell the teachers, they will help you to get the people.
I know these things sound quite new to somebody else there, because hardly will people think that we have people who are like guiding academic choices in schools, and but if they're out there, then it's a good news, and I'm sure people will take note of this. And but Dr. Radio, let's come to this point of our discussion. You know, the friction where your child wants to pursue or want to follow this academic interest, and you think that no, he's going the wrong way. As a parent, you are talking about giving children some level of percentage of choices. I mean, some 70 or 60% for them to follow their interest. You think when you leave that to the child, can there be some consequences?
Yeah, it depends on how old the child is, because as the child grows up, the child may change the mind. But you see, we are talking about guidance and counseling. I think that the curriculum of education, when it comes to training teachers, must also be looked at again, so that the teachers will actually do maybe 2 courses in guidance and counseling. That they themselves will be good counselors, because the parents will require their input when it comes to making decisions for the child, right? The parents at every stage in the development of the child must be contacting the teachers from time to time to ask them where they think the strength of the child is. So you see, it takes 3 to make the decision. It takes the parent, the teacher, and the child himself or herself. Because the child doesn't like it, I mean, the child may be doing well in a course, but if he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. I was doing very well in a course, right? And but I didn't like it. And my father was very disappointed. I took a different direction, right?
All of us did.
He was, yeah, he was very, very disappointed. But I took a direction which I was very comfortable with, and I've become what I am today. And I'm also developing curriculum for universities in the area my father expected me to have gone, right? Yeah, because I'm learning. I'm learning all the time. So, I mean, you can learn and then develop yourself as well, apart from wherever your line is. So I think that teachers must be taking guidance and counseling as a course, as part of their curriculum. Seriously, the government must look critically at that. So the teachers themselves, apart from the specialists, right, can also guide the parents, because it's not all parents that can have access to these specialists we are talking about.
Can I add
something
please
do.
to it?
Yeah.
All teachers have learned guidance and counseling in general. So we do it. But when it gets to the point where we cannot help, then we call in the guidance and counseling coordinators who have done it very, very well to help the parents. So all teachers are guidance and counseling coordinators themselves. And so we do it, as he said. That's what we do. When the parents come to the school, we sit down with them, and then we go through the child's performance from primary 1 to the JHS. Then through that, we are able to detect the subject the child is very good at, and not very good at per se, but interested in.
Where the interest is.
Because, like he said, like our papa said, if you are able to do something very well, but you are not happy doing it, you will not be fulfilled. And I always tell my children that success without fulfillment is meaningless.
Wow.
Yes. So you need to be fulfilled in your field of career.
Yeah. But I think along the line there must be psychometric tests, which will be conducted by psychologists and so on, or some of these counselors as well, to test what level or what direction the kids can go. Because once you're able to test and analyze them, you can tell where they're going. Some call them temperamental test or whatever. Some have colors. You say this person is green, so this person can go this person is yellow, can go that direction. But I also think that looking into the notebooks and then the assignment books of the kids will not be enough. Because our method of assessment is not absolute in this country. You see, if the method of assessment were accurate or adequate, then here comes the question. For the last 10 years, right, out of every 10 students that took the WASI examinations, about 7 of them don't get the 6 passes in order to enter into university. So we're talking about 70 to 72% not qualifying.
That's right.
And it's been 10 years, nobody cares. Nobody cares. So the question is that method of being in high school for 3 years and learning at the end of the period, going to write the WASI exams within 2 weeks, very appropriate, very accurate? No, it's not the best. When you go to places in Europe and in the United States, in other parts of North America, you realize that there are 2 tracks.
That's right.
I mean, some children can do well when they sit down and write all the papers within a short period. Others would like to go through this periodic assignments, submission of assignments and projects in order to enter university. My children, 2 of my children, did the same thing. Where they did GCE in England, right? Then right after the GCE, you go to college, where you prepare for university. In college, you either do A-level, something like WASI, you learn for 2 years and then write the examination at the end of the period. Or you do what is called B.Tech. You have about 17 courses, and for each of them you do about 3 or 4 assignments. You go to the field, collect data. It's practical. So by the end of 2 years, you would have finished all your assignments and projects, and then everything will be calculated and you'll be graded whether you passed or you got merit or you got distinction. And you can enter into university with that. If you are not able to enter into university, you go to the workplace with that. If we have the same method here, right, things will change. Then you wouldn't have 70% being disappointed, because these 70%, out of these 70%, maybe about 80% of the 70% can rather go through this method of doing it step by step, and when they finish, they will have jobs to do. They will not be frustrated. But as it is now, many people have finished high school. They are doing remedials. They keep on failing. It's as if when you fail and you resit, the exams council gets richer, right? They get dollar richer. You see. So or CD richer maybe.
Probably.
So you see, I think that if we have this method in the high school, then those in the primary school as teachers and counselors will also be looking at where the children will be. So when you go to high school, please take this channel where you can write assignments, because I know that you are not the person who can sit down and write all the papers. You cannot finish your mathematics papers within 2 hours. You need about 4 hours to do it. So we cannot say that the fact that you were not able to finish in 2 hours, you are dumb. So why not take the track where you have to be doing assignments bit by bit?
Wow.
Right? And so they can advise them there before they get to high school. And then when they get to high school, they know the tracks they have to take. And then they become successful.
It's not all about the exams, passing at the end of the day.
No. I mean, after all, many of the people who run businesses for the very brilliant guys to get jobs are the B's and the C's. Many of our politicians are B's and C's. They are ruling the world. But we are pushing them aside as if they are not intelligent. Right? I had to resit my A-level mathematics because it was cancelled, and then the next paper that came was really difficult. And some of my friends laughed at me. But today I'm about 15 years ahead of many of them, I'll humbly say. You see, it's not about this race thing. It's about giving people the opportunity to excel in going through the channel where they can actually show their excellence.
The program still continues, and it is the weekend review show right here with me, Johnny called Dollarich. Now, you know, GTV Live will bring you the best, and we say just get connected to us via WhatsApp line, up screen, and our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. We are discussing making academic choices where parents want their children to go this way, and the children also feel no, their best interest is in this academic or this field of academics, and that kind of friction here and there. But we are trusting that after this program, parents and children will come to agreement. There will be some harmony in choosing academic courses and all that. And let's see, Mama Fia, you wanted to say something.
Yes, I wanted to say something. This man, so it's Chiro Honda. He's the founder of Honda Motor Company. He said success is 99% failure, and it is true. Daddy said that he fails a certain subject, and now he's top of those who pass, and it is true. Me too. At the training college, I failed my mathematics. I have to resit it again. But now I'm the best mathematics teacher in my school.
Can you imagine that?
Yes. I failed it because my background knowledge wasn't enough for me to be able to pass. But now I am a very, very good mathematics teacher. I'm fulfilled in my field. And I like the subject. And I teach it with the flair. And my children like me very, very well as far as my teaching is concerned.
You know, I was discussing something with somebody some time back concerning this examinations at the end of the day. You know, some children, not because they are not good in, the subjects or whatever, but just the examination fever, that tension at that moment, you realize they are not making it. But it's not because they don't know, but because of the fever, the tension and all that, they are not able to excel. But others are good at it. I mean, they'll just flow through. So I think, like you said earlier, the earlier we'll take a second look at the channel to use to get some of these children through the education or the final exams or whatever, the better. Looking at the UK example that you just gave about the systematical approach to getting the children through. But let's look at it until these things are done or being brought into our system. The parents and the children, the tension we have when it has to do with, I want to do this, you also want me to do this. Because if a child, I'm asking this question because if a child has an interest in wanting to pursue this, and you also say, no, go and do this, you know, right from the start, the child will have disappointment, even though he's pursuing whatever you want, you the parent want him to pursue, right? But he knows that at the end of the day, he's not coming out with something that he feels he wants to do. And it can even end up causing him to fail his final exams. Now, let's look at it. Should parents be, this is what I want you to do, you have to do it at all costs?
No. No. Go to your child, observe his or her ways and be wise. That is as simple as that. Wow. You see, I mean, parents shouldn't force their ideas and their imaginations and expectations on their children. You see, that is why I'm saying that if a parent is interested in the child and the future of the child, the parent will take time to observe the child. You see, observe how the child talks, observe what the child does, where the child's interest is, the child's performance. You talk to the teacher of the child. You ask your friends what they see in your child. You ask your child's brothers and sisters what they think the strength of the child is. The child, you ask the child where the interest is. You do a lot of work because the future of the child is the future of your family. You see, the unfortunate thing is that many parents can't do that work. It's too hard. You see, but if they take time to look at the child carefully, they will be wise because they will be able to help the child go into the right direction. But as it is now, that is not what they do. They have something in themselves, an expectation. They have a friend whose child is excelling. They just heard that the friend's child is a doctor. Hey, a doctor, it's prestigious. I want my child to be a doctor as well. So my child should go to this school, right? So because I hear that when the child goes to the school, you pass and become a doctor. I wish we had a lawyer in our family. So one of my children must be a lawyer. You are the smart one, you have to be a lawyer. You are not very smart, so you go do dressmaking and so on. That is where the problem comes in again. When you mention technical school or vocational school, then some parents don't want to hear it because it's people who have failed, people who are not able to make it who go to such places. No wonder we have problems in this country. You see, this in certain countries would have been something that they did in high school.
That's right.
This technical, it's technical, right? But in this country, no. If you go to a technical school, you're a hopeless person. So instead of the mother or the father taking time to study what the child's strengths are, and then directing the child to maybe a technical school or a secondary school or whatever, they just want to abandon the whole idea of going to a technical school, and that is very dangerous. See, so I think that it is not the responsibility of the parents alone to decide what the child's future must be as far as the child's education is concerned. The teachers must also be involved, and the counselors that she's talking about must also be involved. The child must be involved, and those who know the child, the friends, the parents, relatives and friends who know the child and are observing the child must also be involved. The whole game is that move deeply, parents, into this sense of observation. Educate yourself by take a course, which means if your child is called Kojo, take Kojology. Kojology is the whole idea of studying Kojo right from Kojo's infancy and helping Kojo chart a new path in the life of the Kojo, by not actually pushing whatever you have into Kojo, but rather using the knowledge and your ideas and observations and discoveries to help Kojo bring out the best out of because education means to lead out, to draw out, to bring out of a person what is in that person. Yes, that's what the answer.
This is what the answer. And the program still continues, and it is the weekend review show. And we have our WhatsApp line, as I said earlier, up screen, and our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. Just get connected to us. Let's get the program going. It's getting quite interesting here. But let me ask Mama Fiad. You see, sometimes when parents bring their awards to school, the teachers will be there. The counselors and all those people will be there. Are you able to tell, like, from the very beginning, or maybe while the child is registered into the school, a week after, months, and after, let's say, the first semester or something, you're able to observe that, oh, this child perhaps could do better in this area. So you just give the parent a call and an invite to say, oh, your child will be best for this area and not this area. So if you can take a second look at it, do you go through such things?
Yes, we go through such things, but they are not enough to determine the career of your child. Because, you know, teachers, we change teachers from KG1, KG2, the teacher is different to the JHS level. It's the JHS level that we normally get the children 3 years. Then we are able to observe them through the 3 years. And that one you can be able to get certain things that the child will be able to do. So we do that. Now, some of the children too, they are not able to get what they are interested in or know very well because of the nature of some teachers. Now, I said I failed in my mathematics when I was at the training college, and now I'm a very good maths teacher. That's right. I didn't know I would be a very good maths teacher. I didn't even know I would be very, very good. I will have the flair in mathematics. My background knowledge, my primary school, SAH, it wasn't good for me because I didn't get good maths teachers. Even they were not there at all. We were not getting maths teachers. We were getting these national service personnel coming to the school to teach them. They themselves, they were not even good at it. So it got to a point I didn't even like the subject. But after training college, when I started teaching it and I was learning it vigorously and very, very well, I got to know that I really even have flair in that subject. So it's the parent, as Daddy said, the parent, you are with the child from infancy. Okay. So it's better you observe your child very, very well because you are the one who can determine those things in your child. You know, you are in the house with your child from 24/7. Now, a child, I can even land her somewhere very, very lucrative employment. A child's neck, only the neck, and the eye, and the feet, and the structure, and then the height, can even let her become a model for these fashion organizations and advertisement organizations, and will get enough money for her livelihood and her children and her generations to come. So you need to observe your child very, very, very well.
That's right.
The teachers will do their best, but you, the parents, can do more than what the teachers can do, because the teachers will not be with your child for long. But you are with your child since he or she was born. So the time you want to take the decision. So the parents are the best people to know what the child is good at and will be able to do in future. So I will entreat parents, as Daddy said, to observe their children very, very well. Because my father wanted me to do agric. So I did agricultural science at the secondary school. But when I went to the training college, my maybe it's the doing of the Lord. My principal forced me to do mathematics. We were many. We were about 30. We marched to his office to tell him that he should change us to agric and science. But he said no, we should do mathematics and agric.
Yes,
and I failed. I failed though. But now I am doing well. I don't even want to hear agric cry. I don't want to hear it at all. But I did very well. I did well at my secondary school level. I got A, B, in all the agric subjects. And I got E in maths. But look at me now. I'm now doing maths and I like it. I don't even want to listen to any other subject. I want the maths.
Is it interestingly, Dr. Redo?
So that's how it is.
Yeah.
So we should observe our children very, very well, and we'll be able to get to know what they can do.
Now, you know, while we're growing up those days, we're all pursuing academics. I mean, everybody wants to show what, you know, your father wants you to do this. I had one friend, and right from the beginning, you know, he started doing this pottery thing. I mean, we were looking at him as a dropout. Well, just, you know, it was quite funny. He had this rabbit, he had this is a grass cutter, and, you know, he had some pottery, all this stuff. And it looked funny. We used to go to his farm, his small backyard farm. And by the time we say Jack, this guy is a millionaire. While we're trying to, you know, it brings me to the point. If your child has this, you know, this practical way of wanting to do something for himself, instead of going through the education, you know, science, law and all that, do you still need to encourage that child of yours to pursue his dream?
Yeah, you need to encourage that child to pursue his dream. In my institution, my university, I've started a new course for those who are doing WASI and want to do remedial. The strategy is that if you have tried WASI and you are finding difficulty with it, why not try a new course? And this course is accredited by the COTVET.
Okay.
Right. You do 15 courses and it's all practical. Then you can enter into the university to do law, you can do administration. This is entrepreneurship and IT. So before you go to university, you would have started learning something already. And some of the students who plan to, somebody plans to do fashion, and that person wants to do law. But this person who wants to do law knows how to do bidding. And those bid making. So the person passes all the examinations, goes to do law. But then on Saturdays or whatever, if the person has fallen in love with something he or she can do with the hands, you can do it the family or start a business, a private business with that, right? And then earn some extra money. There are so many junior high graduates who are frustrated moving around. You can hire them to do your work for you while you go to the court. You see, so everybody has something he or she can do with their hands. So give them the opportunity to do with their hands, and then give them the opportunity to do with their heads, and give them the opportunity also to do with their hearts, so that the 3 H's, the head, heart, hands, all of them begin to work in coordination, and then you get everything perfect. So I think that every child must be given a go at using the hands, using the head, being smart in all areas, so that when they have gotten to university or whatever, they can move in the direction they want to go, but also apply some of the things they can do with their hands. We have in junior high schools children doing cooking and so on. Is it not beautiful to have somebody go to university, finish his banking and finance or management course, BSc, and come and start a restaurant? Just have an idea of how smart that person is going to be, right? Or, somebody goes to do mechanical engineering, he comes out and then starts his own fitting shop. How many mechanical engineering guys are doing fitting?
Exactly.
You see, but if somebody goes into this fitting shop thing and starts, because he went to university to do a degree and not just get a degree, you don't go to university only to get a paper. You go to build network.
That's right.
Right? So that when you have finished school, you have a network of so many friends you can contact to help you. So you finish engineering, and by the time you finished, you are a member of the University Students Association. All of them, big managers, can bring their cars to you. I will not take my car to some of the a new graduate who has come from a university, excuse me to say, who says he's done auto engineering. I wouldn't be sure very much. I'll take it to the roadside person. But I may not also trust that person because he knows how to fix the pump, but he doesn't know the technical thing behind the pumps. But I would trust somebody who goes from the university, goes out of the university, goes to learn these things, and then he has a very broad network. You can trust that he does it. So you see, it's important for us to encourage our children to make their own choices, especially when they get to the secondary school. You would have helped them to get to that point. They make their choices and then encourage them and guide them. You have no idea what they are going to become, but we should not force them to do what we feel they have to do.
One area of children is, sorry to say, you know, like some say blockheaded. You know, there are some children you can see right from the beginning, they cannot add 1 to 1 to get 2. I mean, if you put simple equation there, it will be very difficult for them to grasp. And then if you observe your child, it's not that academical minded kind of, you know, you realize that no, right from the beginning, your child is not hitting academically. As a teacher and a parent as well, how do you, I mean, get your child together from the very basic, from the very beginning, to be able to help him or her to also get to a place in society?
One thing, teachers, every teacher has been taught that nobody has empty head. Everybody has something to do with the mind. If the person, as Daddy said, your hands, your heart, your heart.
Yes, right.
Now, if your head is not able to work very well, your hands can work very well. Your leg can work very well. Even your vocal cords can work very well. It can land you to become a very good musician.
That's right.
So that is why we are saying that. Observe your child very well. When they are playing music, is she dancing? Is he dancing from the beginning? Now, I have a small child in the house. Anytime there's music, hey, everything is okay for her.
That's right.
She's only 3 years now, and she can sing all songs.
Wow.
If you play it 2 times, she will be able to sing, and she will dance to the tune very, very well. Now, such a child, if she's not able to do well academically, I have something to build on, to help her. So just observe your child. Observe her critically. Observe him critically. Help him as far as his strengths are concerned. Even some of the weaknesses can become strengths.
That's right.
In future. That is why you have to let him pass through the education ladder. Help him to go to where he can go to. If it is the JHS, let him go through the education system. By all means, he will learn something. By all means, if he is not able to even write his name, he will learn something. He will even learn how to deal with human beings, interpersonal relationship, how to deal with people, how to mingle with people. He will learn so many social skills as far as the school system is concerned. So if your child is not doing very well as far as academic performance, the theories are concerned, let him go through the education system, at least to the JHS or the SHS. And then when he's landed there and you are not able to get the good thing from him as far as his academic performance are concerned, then go to the other aspects and then harness it, nurture it, and it will bring something good for you in future and to him. So learn everything about your child and you get there. Some of them are now footballers. They cannot even speak English very well. But the talent is keeping them. And some of them, they cannot even write their names. But they are married to graduates. They are married to graduates. The footballers.
They like the way you put on that smile.
So harness it and nurture it.
That's right.
Learn everything about your child. And there's something we should also teach our children. There's this thing, learning to become intelligent, ignorant. You should learn. So the Bible says that we should train the child the way he should go. And when he grows up, he will never depart from it. From infancy, to teach your children to learn to be intelligent, ignorant. If you are like that, you know that I don't know this, but I can do it. Intelligent ignorance says that you don't know something, but you tell yourself, I don't know it, but I can do it. Right. Teach them, I can do spirit. And when you teach your children that I can do spirit, they will grow up and they will never depart from it. And they will know. So even if the child has gone astray as far as his academic decisions are concerned, because you have taught the child this concept, he will come back to the right source and follow it. So some of the children, they will finish the first degree and then the second degree they will go to where they like and they will go to do it. So that one too is there. So teach your children the way they should go and they will never depart from. Teach them to know that there are certain things they don't know, but they can do it from the beginning. And when they grow up, they will be able to do everything. As I sit here now, because of that mentality in me, my father taught me when I was a child. Anything you will be able to do it. You'll be able to do it. He'll be caning you. He will be correcting you. And he has put that thing in me, and it has worked for me up to now. I only went to learn how to hairdressing. I went there, and by 1 week I have finished learning.
You could do it.
I could do it with ease by 1 week time. I went to learn batik and tie and dye. By 2 weeks time, I have finished it. And I can do it very, very well. Because of that, I can do spirit in me. So I always want to do something that I cannot do. That is why I am now doing very well in mathematics. We went to the university, I did the diploma. Not for the diploma, the teachers, we do all subjects. Right. Then the degree, you choose. Then because of that, I can do spirit in me. I said, oh, the mathematics is something I have problem with. And I chose that one. And now look at me. So teach your children, I can do spirit.
So talking
and it will help them very, very well.
Talking about parents encouraging, you know, I ask this question because, you know, some parents, when they see their children are dull, you know, they cannot push, then they rather even kind of insult them. It's you know, they cannot motivate because you see that, oh, you want the child to do this and the child is not pulling his weight or her weight, and it's like you cry your head, I mean, you are this, and negative kind of pronouncement, and the children even kind of weigh down.
Who is rather dumb? Is it the parent who is dumb? You see, you the parent are rather dumb. It's not the child, because the child, you must help the child to discover what the child can do, right? So if you have expectations and you feel the child must meet the expectations, then you get frustrated. and then you begin to tell, give names, the child names and so on. You are rather dumb. You also must be educated. You have to educate yourself. Your education is to find out what the child can do and help the child.
In other words, so you are failing as a parent.
You are failing as a parent. You see, every parent, I mean, God is not a cheat. You see, if God gives you a child, God has given you a gift. God has given you a wonderful gift. And every child that God gives a parent is a blessing.
That's right.
You see,
that's right.
So every parent must trust the child, whoever the child is. You must trust the child. But you see, our expectations are destroying that. And also, you said something very interesting. You see, we have heard, when I was growing up, I heard this phrase, necessity is the mother of invention. But it seems as if among our people in this country, necessity is not the mother of invention. You see, we are in crisis, we are struggling, we are poor. Instead of taking advantage of the poverty, the filth around us, the struggles, and then learning something and changing our situation, we are just falling into it. As for me, I'm a black person, I can't do anything. It's a white person that can do it. If a Ghanaian develops an app now, I tell you, many Ghanaians will not use it because the Ghanaian who developed it. You see, and so we look down on ourselves. And if the people will buy you the price at which you sell yourself.
That's right.
You see, so if you don't value yourself, don't expect anybody else to value you. We respect other people. The foreigner is more important than us, and so on. But we have to look at the situation and change the situation. Do you know that I can do some hairdressing?
Wow.
It was a crisis situation. I remember that I lived in a place where in England where my wife had to travel, paying £84, right, to travel by train to London and buy a few hair products, and come back. She would fix her hair and pay £45, and then come back. In and out plus 84 plus 45. You just imagine how much it costs. Because we lived in a place in a town where there was no salon for black people. You could even count the number of black people. There may be about 20 in the whole town. Wow. So everybody would have to travel to London and come there. So I realized it was becoming too much. I was building my small home on my wife's head. That kind of thing. So I decided to learn how to fix yourself. Yeah. When I tried it the first 3 training sessions, she was very angry. I said, look, I'm not a hairdresser, I'm trying to help you. Right. But eventually,
it worked.
Yes, it worked. I cannot do all the styling, and I can fix it. It's unfortunate that since we came down to this country, I've not been doing it. You see, but that crisis situation helped me because we couldn't afford, to do that. Maybe every month, she travels 84 plus 45 pounds. What do you mean by that?
That's serious,
right? So I had to learn how to do it. So if I got stranded and didn't have any job, right? I could fix the wives of the hair of the wives of the people in the town, and I have a big job.
That's right.
Wouldn't it be beautiful for somebody to finish a degree in mathematics and he's not getting a job to do, and the mother is a hairdresser and learns how to do this hairdressing and start hairdressing salon because he's finished degree and he's very smart and calculative. By the time you are in a decade, he will spread his branded hair salons all over the country. Just like you have Papaya here, Papaya or KFC, KPS, he can brand the whole thing. That is the direction in which our young people must be looking. But if you have a parent who says, you go and do mathematics, you can be a hairdresser, then there is a big problem. I have friends who are pastors, they did law, they have resigned. Today, there are many churches with medical officers who are pastors and so on, because they are pursuing where their heart takes them. So we must be very careful what we tell our kids to do. We must be very intelligent, and we must educate ourselves by taking a course in watching our children.
That's interesting. The program is Weekend Review with me, Johnny called Dollarich. I said it earlier, we believe in the next generation because our core mandate says We are bringing the family together, reshaping society for tomorrow's generations. Thank you so much for being part of the show. And I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Oredu for passing through. Doc, thank you so much. And my own very Mamefia, thank you so much for coming.
You are welcome.
And it's quite unfortunate we have to end here. I know there are so many things you would wish to share with us. We have our WhatsApp line up screen and our Facebook page. We can review with Dollarich. Let your comments come in, let your questions and whatever you think about this show, let us have it. And then give us a call after the show and let's get to chat and let's get friendly on this set. Earlier I said something about Seth Hooper. Seth Hooper, Brian Kwesi Hooper, Seth Brian Kwesi Hooper. I mean, formerly of Accra High School, in the 90s, 94, 95, thereabout, and then also at IPS, Institute of Professional Studies, now University of Professional Studies. If you know him in person or if you know anything connected to him, just get me connected to him and I'll be so glad. God richly bless you. Thank you so much for being part of this show, and I will see you same time next week. But a big thank you to my production team for helping out for us to get to the end of the show. I love you all. Stay blessed. God richly bless you.
All hope was gone, hard to hang on.
This is the moment to join hundreds of families praying to make their relationships, marriages, and homes better through divine grace. Join Weekend Review with Dollarich on GTV Live in redeeming the family glory.
Under an atmosphere of worship and prayer, GTV Live, your religion and culture channel, invites you to come intercede, rebuild, and to restore the family glory.
The venue is
Life International Church, Calvary Chapel, opposite Matayako MS Police Station, Tama, Akenya Road, with Reverend Solomon Latte.
the date,
Sunday, 11 September 2016.
the time,
8 a.m. sharp.
the theme,
Breaking the limitations.
Precious One. Evangelist Johnny Cole Dollarich of Weekend Review Show on GTV Live believes you can redeem the family glory through relentless prayer.
Now in Jesus' name, my family will not break. My family will not break. Marriage will not break. Marriage will not break. My family will stand. My family will stand. My children will go well.
That takes a soldier's heart.
To be worshipped.